Hello, my name is Cade Tourette, and this is my advocacy presentation. First, I started with gathering information. I spoke to some of my friends that also go to Saddleback College, and I asked them, what's the most significant problem you face at Saddleback? I got my professor suck, not exactly professional. I also got it's tough to balance school and personal life, and it's hard to make friends at school when I only take classes online. That's a more specific problem. And I also got my professors care more about pushing their political ideas than teaching their subject. Another said, my teacher teaches their opinions and not necessarily fact. So there seemed to be a common theme between three of these, and I went with indoctrination in the school system period as an issue that I was gonna to talk about. The elaboration likelihood model. This is consisting of two paths, the central path and the peripheral path, where the central path includes thinking logically and it's critical thinking where you take the facts of the situation and you think logically about it and you go and you draw correlations to why you believe what you believe. Whereas on the other hand, the peripheral path, you use cues and emotions to making your beliefs about a certain issue. So, like this example here, I just need a car, or sexy girls, or I can pay. This is the car for me. These are all your reasons why you might buy this car. But if you think logically, the logical reasons why you might buy the car is, oh, you need the car. The price is a good price. It's high performance. It's going to perform better than a different car, or it's the top car of the year. It's rated better than other cars, right? And this can also relate to the dangers of indoctrinations in school. Yeah, if I were to do a PSA like I will to you guys, public service announcement to you guys, I would tend to lean towards the central path because this is a very important issue that isn't that most people, I think they shouldn't make opinions based on the peripheral path with large issues in society like this one. So I'll cover both, but the central path is the best for making opinions, though when you're trying to persuade people, both are very powerful tools. So the central route, when talking about indoctrination in schools, you want to draw conclusions based on evidence, right? So if you know that the teachers and professors are pushing agendas in schools because they're unchecked, especially on impressionable adolescents, children, teenagers, and young college students. The older you get, the less impressionable you are, but therefore, when you're young, it's when you get pushed a certain way of information, you want to trust your teachers and your professors. And when you get pushed a certain ideology as at a young age, chances are you're gonna run with it and you're gonna stick to it because you're impressionable and you're trusting. And if you think about that, what happens because of that? Okay, well, they get this view of the world that's based on their opinions or the opinions of their teachers and their educators, not necessarily an accurate representation that if they were provided fact and got to make it up on their own using critical thinking. And if that's the truth and that happened with all your professors and all your teachers growing up, you'd have a very warped view of the world. And that would mean that the education system as a whole, public school system, private school system, whatever you want to call it, the education system would be corrupt. And the future of the country, if we're talking about the United States specifically, the citizens and the country would have implicit bias about everything they've learned in school. So those are all reasons that using the central route, how you can persuade someone to be captivated by this issue and understand this issue. The peripheral route, it's a lot different. So, I provided examples here like Carl's Jr., Bud Light, and then also words have power, use them wisely. that it plays on your emotions. They go hand in hand with ethos, or I mean pathos. I'm sorry. If your emotions are taken over, you correlate it with some other memory, some other thing, then that will, skew your views on this thing. So you can use that to your advantage when you're looking to persuade someone. So in this circumstance, with implicit bias, I used evidence to align my claim of, the dangers of indoctrination should be well known and that people should be educated on them. I aligned that with a teacher who was also using the same claim that was linked to anti-racism. So back in the day, she was a teacher when Martin Luther King was assassinated, and she was trying to prove how when teachers have implicit bias and they indoctrinate their students, how easily students take to it. And so she was proving 2 points. How dangerous it is to racism and how dangerous it is with everything, how easily that teachers can, teach bad habits or be bad influences by the way they teach, right? By the way they indoctrinate their students. So people that don't necessarily want to critically think about this issue, if they hear that I align myself with anti-racism and they are like to the core anti-racist, like a lot of people, like a lot of the country, then they might automatically hop on board with my claim. So, the best way, in my opinion, the way to get peak persuasion is to take the peripheral route, take the critical route, blend them together, use evidence that supports both sides. As the evidence that I was talking about before, that supports both sides. And when you blend them together like that, I think you get the perfect mix of peak persuasion, or where you use the best of both worlds for the elaboration likelihood model. So yeah, when I'm talking about education, it comes up a lot. I definitely believe that indoctrination in schools, I've experienced it firsthand my whole life. Teachers and educators want to push their opinions and their ideologies on their students. And I think that this is very dangerous. And I think that when I'm talking about it to people, I already used the peripheral route and the critical route before I even knew what they were to try to inform people about this. And now that I understand it more, I will continue to use these peak persuasion techniques to do so. Thank you.